Hey, what's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tour Reviews. Well, I'm taking a look at a pretty cool tool from Vanpo Pubs. I think it's how it's pronounced. This is called one of those electro suction cup lifter things. I'm not really sure what they're called exactly, what category it classifies as a tool, but I've seen these at Lowe's a couple of times. I think I mentioned a couple of videos I did where you see these kind of near like the tile sections at Lowe's, and they're designed originally for lifting glass and just like smooth surfaces where you can't really get a grip on them. So I got it out of the box here, charged the battery up, took about an hour or so. The battery is a little, kind of wonky to get in there. It's kind of strange, but once you get this thing up and running, it's actually pretty cool. So very simple operation. There's only one button on here. You do a long press, and that'll actually set the suction. It'll start, and then you do a double click to release the suction. So very simple operation. That's all there is to it. It has a battery of like a working time of like less than 8 hours. So you can kind of probably use it all day, and it'll probably last. But you can, of course, buy extra batteries for this thing too. This thing's about $100 on Amazon, so not really cheap, not really expensive either. It's got a working load, I think around 600 to 800 pounds, but it's recommended safe load right around 350 pounds. So I could probably hang off this thing with plenty of weight to spare, which is kind of cool. But I was surprised at how just like useful this thing is. As long as it's like a smooth surface, this thing can adhere to it. And I've been trying this thing around all the time, and I have not been able to, pull this thing off of anything. And it's so fast too. Like, check this out. We are locked down already. I mean, look at that. To a laptop, and there we go. I mean, that is pretty sweet. So let's go try this thing out and see what else it can stick to. Oh, the back side of this tool chest is pretty smooth. Let's give this thing a shot. It's about like, I give it like 1 second, and then it's stuck on to hold its weight, and then within a couple more seconds, I mean, it's not going anywhere, which is pretty sweet. Of course, things like drywall, that's not going to be smooth enough for this thing to grab onto. You can see it's actually, no way, is this thing actually, oh, it's on the drywall. Now, this thing actually has a really cool feature where as it's sensing it's losing suction, it'll automatically keep trying to get more suction. So you can see it's pretty solid on there. But it's got to continuously keep running the motor there to keep its suction going. All right, stainless steel fridge. This is curved, so I don't think it's going to do it. Oh, wow. There we go. No problem there on the fridge. That's actually quite surprising. Of course, things like metal, this should be no problem here. There we go. That is awesome. Just like a handle there. Here's a laminate cabinet. Let's test this out, see if it holds on. Yeah, no problem. And it's a really smooth laminate cabinet there, so that's no problem there, holding on just fine. Okay, so let's really test the the weight of this thing. How much weight can this thing really hold? So these are some really heavy duty tabletops here. I think I can barely lift this. This is like probably 150 pounds this thing weighs. So let's lock this thing on, and I'm gonna see if I can pick this tabletop up here with just this. Yep. That is strong. Oh. I'm kind of curious about glass. Let's give this a shot. Yeah, no problem. Right on the glass there. And this glass does have a crack in it, but it is not proving to be a problem at all. How about this garage door? Oh wow, yep, on the garage door. Alright, so thanks to Vanpo Pubs for sending this thing over. I've always wanted to try one of these things out. You can see some interesting details here. Here's the suction cup. We've actually got 3 different seals on here, which is kind of cool to see. Also, there's a little bit of a like a filter here, so that's where the suction from the motor happens, and of course the air sucking into there. That is a little filter that to prevent any debris or dirt from getting in that motor, giving, of course, a longer lifespan. My only complaints with this thing really are, I don't like the battery setup here. It's kind of weird, and the manual itself is a little confusing to read. But the thing is, it's got pretty basic, operation. It's not like you really need, a ton of stuff to understand this thing. It's just one button. So very easy to use overall. Battery life has been phenomenal on this thing. I've been using this thing for a little bit now, really trying like a ton of stuff to lift on this thing. it works great. Honestly, I'm just pretty surprised by the battery. I just wish the battery pack was like, like a DeWalt or Makita battery. Would be kind of cool, give you a bit better battery life. But this thing, of course, is very small, very light, helps this thing remain, of course, very mobile. You can tell, of course, it's built very well. You got some heavy duty screws and bolts here. This plastic thing, as much as I've been like, like really wrenching this thing, trying to get this thing to like, pick up heavy duty stuff, this thing has been holding on no problem. It's like it's cracking or moving or anything at all. So very cool there. Definitely worth the $100 if you're moving stuff like, glass or anything that's like smooth metal that you want to get an extra handle onto. This thing works pretty well. I'm actually surprised just how well this thing works. Of course, having a little feedback here by telling you how good that, that suction is and how good of a grip it has on the object is really cool to see. As well, that's always actively monitoring how well that suction is doing. It won't just like release without telling you, or of course, let the suction get down too low where you can actually pull it off rather easy. So very cool, very impressed by this thing. And of course, there's the safe load bearing 375, max load bearing is 600 there. And of course, safe load bearing at 375, that's pretty cool. So I could definitely hang off this thing if I could find something on the ceiling to stick this to that would hold my weight. So that is awesome. Two of these things, you can really carry some really serious stuff here. So that is awesome. And of course, I think this thing even sticks to this table here. Yeah, sticks to the table, no problem. That's awesome. Can I get just like Nope, can't pull this thing off. Even though it's not even that great of a seal there, it's still pretty rock solid. I think even with half of a seal there, where it's got to keep running the motor every couple of seconds there, I think it's still holding at least 200 plus pounds there, no problem. So very cool, guys. You want to check this thing out? Check the link in the description. Always one of these tools I've always wanted to really check out and just play around with and see how well this thing actually works. As well as we see heavier duty versions of these get released. Kind of surprised Makita, DeWalt, or Milwaukee doesn't have one of these yet. It'd be very cool to see this. It actually kind of seems very handy to have, Definitely a tool I'm going to keep around in my toolbox here. And I think it's going to come in useful, especially for carrying stuff like glass or metal. This thing would definitely make a huge difference carrying some of that stuff that is kind of sharp. You don't want to carry it close to your body, but you still want to have, a good handle on it. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe out there.